We're going to walk you through the installation of the J&L oil separator for your BRZ and GR86. Including the J&L kit is an oil separator, mounting bracket, mounting hardware, 2 dress-up ends, a couple of zip ties, and hoses. The tools you're going to need for installation is a 10mm socket, extension, ratchet, standard pair of pliers, Phillips head screwdriver, and light grease or oil. Let's get started. Now our first step, we need to remove this little beauty cover here. Just go on the front of it, pull it up, just in 3 rubber grommets, and set that to the side for now. Now to get better access to our PCV line here that we're going to be interrupting, we're going to remove these 2 10mm bolts that hold this bracket to the top of the intake manifold. So go ahead and break those free and remove those bolts. Then you can just push that bracket to the back for now, and that will give us more room to remove this line. Now this line could be pretty stuck on there just from the heat, so you're going to want to use a pair of pliers to just grab around the line and twist it to break it free. My line's moving pretty easy because I've already had it off once, so you're just going to twist it while you pull on it from the back and remove that line. Now we're going to mount our mounting bracket, the front of the motor. On the passenger side here, you have this bracket for the computer. There is an empty hole. We're going to use the supplied J&L threaded clip and push that over that hole. You hear that snap into the hole. Then we're going to grab our bracket, our washer, and our bolt. Put the bolt through the washer, and then through the bracket, and we're going to thread that into that clip. Now I'm not going to tighten that all the way up yet, because now we're going to grab our oil separator. We're going to align the 2 logos so the fittings are facing towards the back of the car. Grab your supplied screws. You can go and tighten those screws up all the way. Now once you have your oil separator tight to your bracket, we're going to get down and make sure our oil separator is level and clear of the fuse box and the bracket, and we're going to tighten our bolt up. And this bolt is just going into that clip, so you're going to kind of compress that clip, so you need to tighten this up pretty good. Obviously not enough to break that bolt, but enough where it doesn't shift back and forth if you wiggle on it. Now we're going to work on making our connections. So the J&L hose with this 90-degree fitting, this hose is going to plug onto the intake manifold. You're going to need to grease this line or oil this line for lubrication because it's going to be very tight to push onto this fitting. So I'm using grease here. You could use oil, you can use dish soap, Vaseline, anything slippery. So now that we have that lubricated, I'm going to push this onto this fitting. So you need to get it started. And then just slide it all the way up. So we'll make that connection. And then our J&L hose that has the straight fitting in it is going to plug into our factory PCV line. So we're just going to push that into there. And now we need to connect our lines to our oil separator, and they do have a specific way to connect. So the line that had that straight fitting that's connecting to the PCV is our dirty side line, and that's connecting to the O side of our oil separator. And then of course the line to our intake manifold is going to connect to the C side. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to lubricate these hoses like you did the one for the manifold. Just take a little bit of grease or oil. I'm going to lube that one, and then we'll lube our manifold. And then we just need to make our connection. So don't forget your little dress up end here that hides the cut edge on your hose. It makes a nice clean installation. And we're going to push this onto our fitting and then do the same for the intake side. Included in your kit was a couple zip ties, and what we want to do is just kind of tighten these hoses up to make this look nice. So I'm actually going to take one and just go around this brace here to secure the lines to the brace, and then you can do another one here. And then just cut your tag ends off. And those things, the zip ties don't need to be crazy tight, just enough to secure the lines. You got that one. And then that one. And just rotate your fastener around. Now our last step, we need to put our bracket back into place. Start those bolts by hand. And then just go ahead and tighten them up. And then we need to reinstall our little beauty cover here. So again, it's got a couple studs that go into these rubber grommets. So just align those, they'll push into place, and that completes your installation. Now your average collection on most of these oil separators is about an ounce of oil every 1,000 miles. The can in its default form holds 3 ounces. So I would recommend that you check it after 500 to 1,000 miles of driving to see an idea of how much yours is accumulating, as many factors affect collection rate, such as weather, if you're doing a track day with the car, you know, and every driver, every motorist can be a little different. So check it at 1,000. It'll give you a good idea of how frequently you need to check it. We appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, please reach out, and we'll see you on the next one.